Let me ask you a question, and I ask you to consider it honestly. Are you truly in control of your life? Or do you sometimes feel like a passenger, driven by moods, impulses, and patterns you don't understand? Do you find yourself making the same mistakes in relationships, choosing the same kind of pain, sabotaging yourself just when things start to go well? Do you ever achieve everything you thought you wanted, only to feel a profound, inexplicable emptiness inside? If any of this feels true, it is not a sign that you are broken. It is a sign that a deeper part of you is trying to speak. There is a silent, powerful force within you that has shaped every choice you've ever made. It's not magic or mysticism. It is the vast, uncharted territory of your own mind. And no one has ever mapped this territory more bravely than the psychologist Carl Jung. This journey we are about to take is not about simple self-help tips. It is a descent into the core of who you are. Jung's ideas are not comfortable. They are transformative. Once you truly see what he revealed, you cannot go back to sleep. You will begin to understand that the chains holding you back were never held by someone else. The whole time, they were in your own hands. Part 1. The Cartographer of the Soul. Who was Carl Jung? He wasn't just a psychologist. He was a cartographer of the soul. Born in Switzerland in 1875, he was the chosen protege of Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. But where Freud saw the human mind as a cellar, filled with personal repressed traumas and desires, Jung looked up and saw a cathedral, filled with ancient symbols, myths, and a spiritual yearning that connected all of humanity. Freud believed our problems stemmed from our personal past, our childhood. Jung believed our greatest struggles and our greatest strengths stemmed from a past that is thousands of years old. This fundamental difference led to a painful but necessary break between the two thinkers. Freud wanted to cure the neurotic individual. Jung wanted to reconnect the individual to the soul of humanity itself. He didn't just want to treat the symptoms of a sick person. He wanted to understand the sickness of an age that had forgotten its own depth. He believed our deepest anxieties come from this disconnection, and he gave us a map to find our way back home. Part 2. The ocean beneath the island. The first and most mind-bending idea on Jung's map is the collective unconscious. Imagine your conscious mind, everything you know about yourself, your memories, your thoughts, is a small personal island. This is the island you live on every day. But Jung proposed that beneath this small island lies a vast, dark, and ancient ocean that connects all of humanity's islands. This is the collective unconscious. It is a shared psychological inheritance, a deep reservoir of instincts, symbols, and memories belonging to all humans, across all time. This isn't just a beautiful metaphor. It is why different cultures, separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, developed stunningly similar myths. The story of the Great Flood, the hero who slays the dragon, the wise old mentor, the journey into the underworld. These are not coincidences. Jung believed they are primal stories that bubble up from this shared psychic ocean. They're alive in us today. When you watch a movie like Star Wars and feel the pull of the hero's journey, or you watch The Lion King and understand the pain of betrayal by a dark uncle, you are not just watching a film. You are recognizing an ancient pattern that lives within your own soul. These patterns, these innate characters and situations, Jung called archetypes. Part 3. The unseen dance partner, the shadow. Of all the archetypes that live in our shared ocean, one is the most important, the most dangerous, and the most neglected. It is the one that unconsciously runs our lives until we have the courage to face it. Jung called it the shadow. The shadow is everything you have rejected about yourself. It is every impulse, every desire, every weakness you were taught was unacceptable in order to be loved and to fit in. Your anger, your jealousy, your laziness, your vulnerability, your secret ambitions, all the parts of you that you've tried to hide, even from yourself. You do not get rid of the shadow. You only push it into the darkness of your unconscious mind. And from there, it controls you. Have you ever had a moment of explosive road rage and later thought, that wasn't me? Have you ever found yourself harshly judging someone else for being arrogant or selfish, only to be blind to those same traits in yourself? Have you ever sabotaged a beautiful relationship for no reason you could name? That is your shadow at work. It doesn't disappear, it gets projected. You start seeing the darkness you deny in yourself, everywhere in the world around you. You point fingers at the evil in others, never realizing you are only pointing at a reflection of your own disowned self. As Jung famously warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. As long as you pretend you are only good, nice, and kind, your shadow will continue to dance with you, leading you into the same destructive patterns. You will call it bad luck or destiny, but Jung called it a lack of awareness. Part 4. The Alchemist's Work. Individuation. So how do we gain freedom? Jung's answer is not to defeat the shadow, but to integrate it. This is the path of individuation. Individuation is the journey of becoming whole. It is the most difficult and most important task of a human life. It is not about becoming a good person or a perfect person. In fact, Jung once said, "I would rather be whole than good." Wholeness means accepting that you are both light and shadow. You are both courageous and fearful. You are both kind and, at times, capable of great selfishness. Individuation is the courageous process of turning to face the parts of yourself you have abandoned. This is like the work of the ancient alchemists who sought to turn worthless lead into precious gold. In Jungian psychology, your lead is your raw, messy, unconscious self, especially your shadow. The gold is your whole, integrated self. The process is not about adding something new to you. It's about courageously integrating what is already there. This journey is often painful. It means admitting to yourself, yes, that envy is in me. That anger is mine. That weakness is also a part of me also. It means taking back all the projections you've cast onto others and owning them as part of your own rich, complex humanity. Why would anyone do this? Because locked within the shadow is not just darkness, but also immense power, vitality, and creativity. Your anger, once integrated, becomes the fuel for setting boundaries. Your fear, once understood, becomes a source of wisdom. Your sadness, once embraced, becomes a wellspring of compassion. By integrating the shadow, you take the power back. It can no longer control you from the darkness, because you have brought it into the light of your consciousness. This is the beginning of true freedom. Part 5. The Language of the Soul. Dreams. But how do we begin this conversation with our unconscious? How do we know what our shadow is trying to tell us? Jung's answer was simple. Listen to your dreams. While our modern world often dismisses dreams as random brain noise, Jung saw them as direct, unfiltered messages from the deepest parts of our psyche. He called dreams a little hidden door in the innermost and most secret recesses of the soul. Your soul does not speak in spreadsheets or logical arguments. It speaks in the ancient language of symbols, images, and stories. Think about common dream motifs. The dream of showing up to an exam totally unprepared, even if you haven't been in school for decades. This isn't about school. It's a message that you feel unprepared for a test in your waking life. The dream of finding new, undiscovered rooms in your childhood home. This often symbolizes new, undiscovered parts of your own personality that are ready to be explored. A recurring dream is never random. It is your soul knocking on your door, asking you to pay attention to an imbalance in your life. To ignore your dreams, for Jung, was to ignore a letter from your wisest advisor. Part 6. The Modern Crisis of the Soul. Jung's ideas have never been more relevant than they are today in our world of noise, distraction, and digital masks. We live in an age that worships the persona, another of Jung's key archetypes. The persona is the social mask we wear to be accepted. It is our perfect Instagram feed, our professional LinkedIn profile, our carefully curated public self. There is nothing wrong with having a persona, but our culture encourages us to mistake the mask for our real face. We become so obsessed with performing our lives for others that we lose connection to who we are when no one is watching. The result is a silent epidemic of meaninglessness, anxiety, and a feeling of being a fraud in our own lives. We are scrolling past our own souls. Jung foresaw this crisis. He knew that when we live only on the surface, the deep, unlived parts of ourselves will eventually rise up, demanding our attention, often in the form of depression, anxiety, or destructive behavior. These are not just chemical imbalances. They are often symptoms of a soul sickness, a soul crying out for depth, for meaning, for wholeness. Part 7. Your journey home. So, where do we go from here? The journey of individuation, of becoming whole, is the journey of a lifetime. It does not happen overnight. But it begins with a single courageous step, the choice to turn inwards. It begins when you ask, what part of me am I not looking at? It begins when you start journaling and paying attention to your dreams. It begins when you notice a strong, irrational reaction you have to someone else, and instead of blaming them, you ask, what part of my own shadow might this person be showing me? This is not a path of comfort. It is a path of truth. And the truth is that you are infinitely more complex, more powerful, and more mysterious than you have ever allowed yourself to be. The parts of you that you fear the most hold the key to the freedom you seek the most. You are not broken. You are simply incomplete. And the act of watching this video, of feeling a resonance with these ideas, is no accident. It is a call from the deepest part of yourself, a call to come home. Your journey has already begun.